Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spark Elite 43 and tonight we're going to have the hiccups apparently. Good lord, that came out of nowhere. Anyway, we're in the Alabama tonight and we are going to have quite the match here. Everything's going to go horribly wrong and then go relatively less wrong. So hopefully you guys are ready. And without further ado, let's get this party started. Now, first of all, you guys may have noticed that there was a video that posted today that was not World of Warships Legends. Holy crap, what is that? It was actually a game called Spentire's Mud Runner, aka, and the expansion that I was using was, the American Wildlands expansion. So if you like off-roading vehicles, if you like big trucks, the first video doesn't have the big trucks in it yet, but the next video will, and we'll go over the rest of the map. So the next video is going to be really long for that, so just as a heads up. I know it's not for everybody, it's not something that everybody will enjoy, but it's something different, you know, while I'm trying to get all these videos out for different things to see what people enjoy and what people don't want to watch and that sort of thing. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is there was 3 enemy Scharnhorsts in this match on a division, and they all spawned on the same side of the map. Now, I'd already warned my team as soon as I saw them that these guys were a thing and that they would push straight across the map, so be ready for them. And so that's why I'm not going to push straight out ahead of, ahead of my team here. I don't feel like taking on 3 Scharnhorsts in their element. So me and this Gneisenau are going to have to keep our distance and do this the right way. Now, that being said, the destroyer that's out here with us is also going to come in handy. And you know how the other day T-Bull sent me a video in the Shapayev, or Chapayev, whatever. And I said, it's just like all the other Russian cruisers that can reach out and touch people from a long ways. But a lot of the times, people get balanced the first time they get shot at because they just don't try to avoid anything. And this Shapayev is about to find out exactly what I'm talking about. So right off the bat, we take the shot, and watch what he does here. Just watch. Wait for it. Got him. Pow! Down he goes. 2 Citadels. Devastating strike, first blood. Not a bad way to start the match. But again, you gotta pay attention if you're in those sort of builds, especially if you're in the open water, because the first time you get spotted might be the last time. I do not leave fire starters alive for very long. Doesn't matter what you're in. Belfast, Atlanta, doesn't matter. If I get a chance to shoot at you, I'm going to take it. Speaking of fire starters, I played these guys in their Scharnhorsts in the last match, and I beat them then too. And with the help from my team, obviously. I can't do it solo. 3 Scharnhorsts are pretty rough for anybody to fight. But they don't do the brightest things in the world. They're broadside on. Wait for it. Yeah. That was right there, 16 to 17,000 damage with 1 salvo, and it wasn't even armor, or it wasn't even a citadel. So you can see why I say that these guys aren't exactly, they're not worrying me too much. Yes, they are getting close. They are going to be able to get torps off any moment. So it is a thing, and I apologize, man. I don't know where that yawn came from either. So hiccups and a yawn in one video. So yeah, I'm off to a great start, ain't I? But we're at 57,000 damage already, and this match is going to get out of hand and not quite go the way we had hoped. Now, again, these 3 Scharnhorsts. Speaking of which, remember what I said about that destroyer coming in handy? Wait for it. Down he goes. The Scharnhorst that was closest to me on the other side of the island just got nuked into oblivion. That being said, we still have 2 Scharnhorsts out in front of us, and their secondaries are starting to do what their secondaries do, which is just flood the entire area that I'm in with all of the secondaries. But the main thing you got to remember when you're dealing with these sorts of ships, especially when there's a lot of them, you got to focus fire. Now we take that. Obviously, I wasn't using my damage con until, because I knew the torps were going to be coming. I had 2 Scharnhorsts inside of torpedo range, so I know that the torpedoes are coming. And you can see we fired up a little higher. We're trying to get those penetrations through the superstructure. And we're just kind of watching our backside, making sure that we're not going to get it completely obliterated. And the Gdaizno helps me take out the very first of the last two. And then this guy's not long for this world. His friends have all abandoned him, and he is all alone versus everybody that's here. And this is why I say that, yes, these tactics work. Sometimes. But if a team is ready for you, you've got to be willing to adapt in your German battleship. You can't just sell out and try to charge everybody with torpedoes. Tirpitz, Gneisenau, same thing. You have to be paying attention. If we have as much firepower as we do here, you cannot push yourself into it. You will die. It's just a matter of time. And once the first one went down to torpedo, and I accidentally rammed a teammate here, but once the first one went down to torpedoes, the other two weren't long for this world. Because the only advantage you had was to be, strength in numbers. And fortunately, the Shop AF behind us helps finish him off. Now, in that engagement, we lost roughly just over a third of our health. We're able to recover some of that, so, about a quarter of our health by the end of the day. But you see what we were able to take out of their team. 3 battleships entered. All 3 of them are now with Davy Jones' locker. So, what did they accomplish other than absolutely minimal damage and dying? Nothing. They accomplished nothing. We finished them, and now it's time for me to go over and make myself acquainted with the rest of their team, because we won our side. Now, there is an enemy cruiser out there, which I believe is a Belfast. And this Belfast, I know, is over here somewhere, and I try to take a shot at kind of where I thought he was going to be. I barely caught it out of the edge or the corner of my eye, so I highly doubt that I hit him. And, of course, we do not. It's very difficult to hit somebody in the smoke when you actually see them fire, but when you're not actually able to catch them, see, like, every time I look away, that's when he fires his guns. It's unfortunate, but it is a thing. But as you can see, I am heading directly towards the lower health of the Bismarcks. But it's also going to put me in a nice path to start doing damage to the other Bismarck, because we have a destroyer that's in their cap. That destroyer cannot sit in their cap for too long, because he's going to be under fire very quickly by an enemy destroyer. Or at least that's what it looks like on the map. So I'm just trying to close the distance right now. I'm kind of playing, hoping that we don't get obliterated by torpedoes, because they still have one unknown destroyer. Never mind, he's now behind us. We're fine. So we've got one behind us, and he should run into the Shop AF pretty quick, so we won't have to worry about that one. But there's still, oh, never mind, the other one's in front of me. That's not preferable. But at least he got spotted, which means I know where he's at, and I know what I gotta do to try to avoid him. Now, we lead the Bismarck here, and I think, did a pretty decent job considering he's angled away from us. And we get a nice, solid penetration. We get 2 penetrations, 1 shatter, 1 overpin, and 1 ricochet, to just make sure that we hit all of the general ribbons that you can get in any particular salvo. Now, just in time for me to get up here and potentially hit and kill this Bismarck, the high explosive comes in and finishes him off, because that's how that works. Every single time that I get... Oh, hello, Belfast. Come on, baby. Now, it's hard to hit a cruiser like the Belfast at this sort of range, just due to the fact that usually the cruiser's paying attention and will actively avoid your shells. However, he doesn't. And he gets extremely lucky not to be removed from the planet, because he just took 4 overpins of 16-inch caliber, or 16-inch 45 caliber super heavy rounds right through the side of his ship while he's sailing angled away from me. He got very lucky. And his luck won't hold out forever, because if you keep sailing in a straight line, I'm going to punish you. And that goes for you too, Bismarck. Wait for it. Pow! Alright, not bad. 3 overpins, he got really lucky. It seems like everybody's getting lucky right now, but because the Belfast is now spotted again, and he is in a beautiful spot for me to engage, he is now in my primary care. Wait for it. Come on, baby. Don't you start swerving now. It's too late. You're inside 12 kilometers, which means it's very difficult for me to miss you at this kind of range. Look, torpedoes. It's almost like we knew that was coming. And then we look back and we got him down to about half health. He's once again gotten lucky. I think he did swerve a little bit. We only hit him with one shell there. But he's starting the high explosive spam, which is, you know, a thing. You know it's coming, so you just kind of live with it nowadays. It's only one person doing it, unless the Bismarck... Oh god, the Bismarck's doing it too. Great! Great. That's alright, though. Shot out. This looks beautiful. That dispersion, and pow! Dropping the hammer. He's lucky he didn't die. Of course, you know, true Spartan fashion, we're not allowed to kill people. We just have to slow them down a little bit, take most of their health, and let them get away with it. Now, we are burning twice. So, am I going to go ahead and pop the thing? Nope. We waited for the extra fire. And now that we're burning 3 times, remember, we're getting shot at by 2 people spamming high explosives. So that's why I held that shot. And this shot should be the end of the Belfast. Wait for it. Really? Really, game? 1 hit? How? How do we manage to get 1 hit? If we got a second hit, he'd be dead. Oh no, we're on fire. Great. Great. That's fine. It's fire damage. It's minimal. You know, it's not that big a deal. Belfast is not long for this world because he's being shot at by our destroyer. And that leaves it me and this Bismarck who have a little bit of, I don't know how you want to say it, unsettled differences. And he's giving me a nice juicy broadside. I take that shot because why wouldn't I? I mean, he's beautifully giving it to me, so I might as well take it. 10,000 damage salvo. Not bad. He's lucky, again. I mean, he's inside 10 kilometers, so it's really difficult to citadel him at this range. But we're going to do everything we can. He gets a pretty darn good salvo there of getting some good penetrations. When is that German accuracy going to show up in my favor here, guys? Come on. Now, unfortunately, I am inside secondary range of the Bismarck, which is not preferable. The good news is, Bismarck's not going to go full broadside because he knows he'll pay for it with his life. And we do a pretty good job making sure we angle a little bit better, and he completely whiffs. Thank you, German accuracy. I appreciate that. Now, let's try again. The rear gun's loaded. We're going to swing out, get the rear gun into the shot, and of course we knock out one of his oh, no, we didn't. We didn't knock it out. I thought we knocked it out. Turn in harder. Yep, we're fine. We're fine. That's what I'm talking about. And then we make him pay by knocking out one of his turrets, and we have reduced his health pool to minimal. And unfortunately, he's like, I've had enough of this. I'm only 1.5 kilometers away. And he finally decides to shoot me to finish me off after he's lost all of his health, and he's not long for this world. Now, right now, the Lightning's in a predicament. He's capturing the base. The enemy is in our base. There are 2 destroyers over there near our base. He cannot afford to get into a shooting match with this Bismarck. Bismarck doesn't have much health, but it has enough that if you get into a shooting match, he will reset you, and that could potentially cost us the game. So the Lightning holding his fire here is the right course of action. Now he does start doing what I like to do, which is go into single torpedo or 2x2 torpedoes and just launch them everywhere. But luckily the Shop finishes off the Bismarck, and that leaves our battleship to take on this Fletcher. This Bismarck is pushed up on 2.5 kilometers from a Fletcher. Now why would a Fletcher get within 2.5 kilometers of a Bismarck, guys? Anybody? Because he's trying to launch torpedoes. However, unfortunately for him, when you bow tank a battleship at that kind of range, even a German battleship can get straight through the front of your ship, and that guarantees full penetrations rather than overpins, and he absolutely obliterates him. Which is preferable. And then, of course, our Lightning still in the base, able to cap, is going to ensure that we win the match, even if the enemy Lightning gets a chance to potentially take out our Bismarck. So we end up with the game being 153,000 damage, devastating strike, first blood, and I believe we got, no, we didn't survive, so we couldn't have gotten Dreadnought. What is it? What's the other one? Oh, the high caliber dummy. 153,000 damage, not bad. 2,986 base XP, top of the leaderboard. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.